This is in response to the Rachel Maddow Show from Tuesday, March 24th, 2015. It had something to do with Scott Walker and some dark money that had gone into a fund for him. So apparently this guy named Menard, who has a string of home improvement stores all throughout the Midwest, wanted to donate some money to Scott Walker's recall election, but he didn't want it to be known to the public, so he invested the money, put the money through the Club for Growth of Wisconsin, and thereby that money did not have to be revealed who the source was, because if they knew who the source was, there'd be, hey, possible quid pro quo, possible Scott Walker would have to talk about it during his recall election, but none of that happened. It sort of came out right now, and this is one of the things that's going to happen as Scott Walker tries to run for the presidency. Little things that you can get away with on the local level are going to come out on the bigger level. Rachel pointed out about this guy named Menard. I think she said he was worth $9.3 billion, had a $1.7 million fine because he was dumping toxic waste, that he took it from the plant or wherever it was and put it in his car, took it home and tried to dump it in his own trash. Because that's how much he loves government, and that's how much he cares about the people of Wisconsin. That's how much he cares about his own people, and that's how much he cares about the environment. And he donated $1.5 million to Scott Walker for his re-election, but it was dark money, so no one found out about it until just now. And was there a quid pro quo? Because after that, Menard got a $1.67 million tax deduction or tax break. These are things that are sort of hashed their way out. But she was talking about some bigger things, which I want to expand upon, which she should have expanded on right from the beginning. Scott Walker is still involved in John Doe Part 2, or Part Do, where his people and him are just trying to fluff it off. It's just some local discrepancies between political parties, et cetera, et cetera. But unfortunately, because he's running for president, now some real players are going to come in and start really try and investigate all this stuff. But let me just try and bring up one thing real quick. Scott Walker has had a number of convictions of people in his staff when he was county executor in Milwaukee. One of them actually has to go to jail right now because I believe she has exhausted all of her appeals, and she's going to jail. I think she was his office manager. And one of the things that they had going on right there is that they all had separate email accounts that were separate from their government accounts, and they had a separate router inside the county executive office to do campaign election stuff while on the dole for the county executive office. Yeah, nice stuff. They really care about helping out the people. So she gets convicted of this. Also, they were trying to raise money. They were doing all kinds of nefarious stuff. And then after one of them was caught, or after something had happened, Walker on his BlackBerry indicated, we need to shut this stuff down, meaning he knew about the separate email stuff. He knew about the router that was in his office, so that people who he was paying them to do work for the county of Milwaukee or the city of Milwaukee, whatever it was, were actually working on his re-election the entire time. So this is the kind of guy Scott Walker is. And remember also, when he was running for election, I think the first time, and he was county executor, they had like a county building, I think it was a parking lot that they were building, and it collapsed as it was being built, and someone died in it, and they got the email of Scott Walker, and he was concerned about the fact that what type of bad publicity would this keep to him. We need to sort of put this under wraps as best as possible. Yeah, that's why he's a Baptist minister's son. And I'm not sure. I know Jeb converted to Catholicism. I don't know if he's still Baptist or if he converted to something else either. But that's how you do it. And one other thing about Scott Walker, he's a real Type A personality. Every office that he's ever had, he's been looking for the next office, because a lot of stuff that he said when he was running for re-election in 2014, which the election was in November. So in September and October, less than 6 months ago, he was indicating that he was out to serve the citizens of Wisconsin. He was not out to seeking higher office. And of course that didn't happen. And then there was another thing about there was talk that they were going to bring up a 20-week ban on abortion. And he said it's not really a big issue with him. He's not really concerned about it. And of course the Republicans, who have control of both the House and the Senate, both chambers in Wisconsin, have put that bill through, and he's indicated he'll sign it right away. So, see, he can't be believed at all. But so Michael Isikoff, investigative reporter who used to be at NBC, I don't know why he left. I know there was unusual circumstances to that, is now at Yahoo, has indicated about this dark money thing in the Club for Growth. And that he's also trying to solicit money from Donald Trump, which everyone knows about, but another billionaire, big-time Republican, basically a corporate Republican, meaning he wants tax deductions and he wants to be not taxed at a high rate. Well, the tax deductions, that's what I meant. And this whole thing of secrecy. Now, from another aspect is that we, as Rachel had pointed out the day before, our good friend Teddy Cruz probably is really running for vice president, in the sense that if there's any qualms that any of the real right-wingers, all the Tea Partiers, all the Libertarians might have about Jeb Bush, they would be satisfied knowing that Ted Cruz is on the ticket, meaning that they got one of their guys on the ticket. And hey, he's only like 43. Jeb serves 2 terms. If he gets elected, Jeb would be 68, 69, 70, right around that time. But Cruz would only be in his early 50s, so he could step right in at all. Now, the reason why I say this could become important is because Walker has begun to take the lead a little bit. He's had a number of faux pas in terms of his foreign policy expertise. He's a serial exaggerator, as was clearly shown when he went to the Reagan Library and indicated that he got some preferential treatment, which really didn't happen. That this is a guy who will do anything to get moving on this, to get moving on his thing. And because he is now has more name recognition, is running after the big money, is not doing anything in Wisconsin. And as another article indicated, that things are going on by his staff that are not being coordinated with by his cabinet people, and it makes it look like no one's really running Wisconsin whatsoever right now. But as he's running for his quest for president, and as he has gotten some name recognition, his numbers have gone up. So right now, in a lot of areas, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, it looks like Scott Walker's running like neck and neck with Jeb, maybe a little bit behind Jeb. But he has a little bit of name recognition. But the problem is that he has been making some subtle snipes at Jeb. And if he's only 46, so I mean, if he was vice president for 2 terms, if he got elected with Jeb, then he could do it. But it would seem to me that that would preclude him, if he keeps on his sniping at Jeb, from getting in there in second position, in second place, to be the vice president. But what Michael Isikoff is really indicating is that as you come up to the big time, let's say, then you get a little bit more scrutiny. And Scott Walker has been very well protected in Wisconsin for all of the many of the shameless things that he's done. And now he's coming up to the big time, and he's really going to have to ratchet up. I'm going to put this about him. When he talks, he's a very smooth guy. And he's talked in South Carolina, he's talked in New Hampshire, he's talked in Iowa, and I've read some of the reports. And one of the things that I disagree about with other people, even Democrats and even progressives, well, not progressives because they read a heck of a lot, is that when people talked about Scott Walker, they liked him because of his faith. They liked him because of the fact that he was willing, that he did these, he said he did all these things, that he was battle hardened. And, they didn't look at all of his policies. They just knew that his policies were what they agreed to anyway. And they just liked the way he looked and the way he talked. So he was, as Sade would say, he's a smooth operator. But we'll see if he can make it to the big time.